Hi, Sophie is going to ask me a few questions around a common problem, which is abdominal hernia.
So the biggest question I have, what is a hernia?
Hernia is a protrusion of any fat or abdominal contents like bowel through weakness in the front of the abdomen, and they could be like by birth, congenital, or acquired, which means you develop these hernias as a result of some damage to your abdominal muscles, either trauma or operations. Okay, operations make the muscles weaker, and that point becomes a nidus for developing a hernia.
Okay, so you're either born with it or you develop it
That's
as
right,
you get older.
yeah.
Okay, so what are the number one treatments for a hernia? Are there any surgeries that you can perform?
It's not everyone who has a hernia need an operation.
Okay.
Okay, if the hernia is getting bigger, causing discomfort, pain, or other symptoms like strangulation of the bowel or obstruction, they need an operation. And one of the other indications for surgery is if it is affecting your lifestyle. Suppose if you are a bricklayer and you have a hernia, you can't lift
bend down.
Yeah. You can't bend down or you can't lift heavy weights without making your hernia worse. So those are the things need to be considered. But if the hernia is not causing any pain or any discomfort and it doesn't fit that criteria, then one can safely leave it alone.
Okay. Are there any kind of self-management techniques that you can do to either prevent a hernia or to help it get better?
I think preventing a hernia development is a difficult problem because you never know who is prone to develop hernia. But to prevent hernia getting worse is in your gift because you can avoid lifting heavy weights. Okay, and identify any activity which improves or increases abdominal pressure should be avoided, like constipation, chronic coughing, or lifting any heavy weights or exercise.
Okay, wonderful. So what are the post-op do's and don'ts? How would you heal best after a hernia operation?
It depends on the type of hernia repair and where the hernia is.
Okay.
The hernia repair is usually done by a mesh. Okay, you might have heard there are problems with the mesh, but
Yes.
this mesh has no bearing on the problems with the female patients having the mesh moving around in their body.
That's good to hear.
Okay. The best thing is to avoid lifting heavy weights. Okay, they go home on the same day, depending on the type of hernia.
Okay.
Most common hernia is a groin hernia or a belly button hernia. But if they have developed a hernia after previous operation, that is a slightly more major operation, so they need to stay in the hospital for a bit longer. But otherwise, the instructions to the patients or what they need to do is pretty much simple. No lifting any heavy weights, and avoid any constipation and too much pain, and walk around as soon as they can.
Thank you.